This entry narrates the taking of the head of John the Baptist from Jerusalem to Emesa, Homs, in Syria, and its discovery there on the 24th of February 453. Marcellinus' entry is based on the account written shortly after the event in Greek by Marcellus, the archimandrite of the Spalaeon monastery at Emesa, where the head was found. This was later translated into Latin by Dionysius Exiguus, but Marcellinus' account is based on the Greek original, Croak 2001, 204. The year 453 is attested by other sources, including Marcellus' own account. The events narrated here constituted what is known as the second invention of John's head. A different tradition held that John's head had been discovered in Palestine in the 4th century, the first invention, and brought to Constantinople during the reign of Theodosius I, 379–395. John, the herald of the Lord and his baptizer, revealed his head, which at an unspeakably horrible demand, Herodias had once accepted after it had been cut from his shoulders and placed on a dish, and buried far from his headless body. He revealed his head to 2 Eastern monks entering Jerusalem to celebrate the resurrection of Christ the Lord, so that when they reached the place where the former King Herod lived they were advised to search around and dig the ground up faithfully. So while they were journeying back to their own places, carrying in their rough saddle-bag the head they had discovered by faith, a certain potter from the city of Emesa, fleeing the poverty which threatened him daily, showed himself to them as a companion, while, in ignorance, he was carrying the sack entrusted to him with the sacred head. He was admonished in the night by him whose head he was carrying, and fleeing both his companions he made off. He entered the city of Emesa immediately with his holy and light burden, and as long as he lived there, he venerated the head of Christ's herald. At his death, he handed it over in a jar to his sister, who was ignorant of the matter. She in fact left it to her heir, put away and sealed just as it was. Next a certain Eustochius, who was secretly a priest of the Arian faith, unworthily obtained this great treasure and dispensed to the rabble, as if it were purely his own, the grace which Christ the Lord bestows on his inconstant people through John the Baptist. When his wickedness was detected he was driven out of the city of Emesa. Afterwards this cave, in which the head of the most blessed John was set in an urn and reburied underground, became the abode of certain monks. Finally, when the priest and head of the monastery, Marcellus, was living a faultless life in that cave, blessed John, the herald of Christ, revealed himself and his head to Marcellus and showed that it was buried here, conspicuous by its many miracles. It is agreed therefore that this venerable head was found by the foresaid priest Marcellus while Uranius was bishop of the city mentioned. This was on the 24th day of February in the consulship of Vincomilus in Opilio, in the middle week of Lent, and the ruling emperors were in fact Valentinian and Marcian.